going, everyone? It's your boy, VenomousStare, back with more Protoss vs. Zerg. This time we have one of my favorite American players, and definitely one of my favorite American Protosses, puCK. Used to be on Team Root. He's an aggressive player who can also macro, and he does lots of good harassment builds. His opponent this game is going to be LeCone, who is a Zerg player, who went hatchery first. He's also mined quite a bit of gas. He'll be able to get speed very soon. On the new maps, I'm going to start paying attention to where Zergs put their overlords for you Zerg players out there, especially the new guys, because when I was new to the game, I had no idea where to send any of my overlords. The first few are the most important, by the way. After about the fifth one, it doesn't really matter so much. puCK is opening with this double adept. 2 adepts, he's also getting warp gate. puCK also starts a sentry and a stalker. Interesting. puCK also used the phasing to move forward. He stayed in his base to protect his ramp. He also used the adepts to stay on the tower. So even though LeCone had Zerglings and was ready for that, puCK did a great job of using the phasing to move out to maximize the current position of his adepts at all times. And if we go to upgrades, LeCone already has Ling speed and Overlord speed. He's also getting an early Evo chamber as opposed to 2 Evos, so I'm going to suspect drops here, and judging by the Baneling nest, I would say Baneling drops. Now this has been getting more popular recently, which is funny to me because Zerg could always do this. It was just wildly ineffective because Ventral Sacs was 200 gas. But now they're doing this Banelings in the mineral line stuff, and Terran and Protoss have never gotten to play against that because Zerg just never did it. So now they have to rethink the way the matchup works, because normally you wouldn't even consider the Zerg being able to get in your base this early via Overlord. So we can see even the best of pro gamers struggle against this. As we see LeCone, he's going to try to drop onto sentries, and puCK dealt with that beautifully. puCK split his workers up, and if we go to workers lost, didn't lose anything. So very well done, especially considering he didn't have any Phoenix. He is getting a Stargate right now, is puCK. puCK is already on 66 drones. This really goes to show his ability as a macro player, because he's out worker making the Zerg who built a fast 3 base and broke down these rocks. puCK starting Immortal production. One thing I do, and I've noticed puCK does too, more importantly puCK, no one gives a shit what I do, but he puts all of his good tech buildings in one spot. The ones that the tech buildings that he's making after his initial one, that it doesn't matter if it gets scouted, he puts together so then he can effectively reallocate his chrono boost. Nice control with the dropper lord of this tower. puCK doing some warp prism harass. I'm going to slow it down to normal. puCK's going to run in here without his mothership core, mind you. He really should have it, I think. And the Greater Spire is on the way for our Zerg players. puCK is doing a nice little attack here with this Sentry Stalker. Beautiful force field to segment the army, retreat, and then re-segment it. puCK was severely outgunned and didn't really have the right composition to deal with mass Ling Bane, but because of his beautiful force fields, he made it the right composition. I guess it is the right composition, but it's not ideal is what I mean. It's not like Colossus Archon or something. Colossus Archon, Stalker, High Templar. Protoss have so many good units. That's the thing, when you play Protoss, you can kind of just make a lot of everything once you have a great economy and you have so many wonderful weapons. puCK is electing to start making disruptors. He has 2 robos. Another thing about puCK's play is he's not afraid to add on that second robo immediately, and that's a very big deal, and it's something I see a lot of players not do. They just say, I feel like they think that the chrono boost makes up for it, but I don't think it does. puCK is going to have his warp prism chased away by corruptors, but he's going to kill drones. We'll pull up the drone killing tab. 17. That's my boy. Also, he obviously killed this base. So puCK is definitely out multitasking LeCone. puCK also isn't afraid to get an early Templar archives. LeCone has been beaten and battered, but he's going to play like it's Wings of Liberty and get some Broodlords, and I like that. I like that a lot. puCK has a slight supply lead here, and if we go to upgrades, it's an interesting mix, an abnormal mix, I would say. Broodlord's being morphed in a bad location. Ooh, a little bit of a friendly fire there from puCK. Even Protoss hates Protoss units. I would say disruptors, they're good against lings if you can get out in front of them, but you risk friendly fire once you get surrounded. Broodlords are here for LeCone, but puCK does have blink. LeCone has banelings, which is incentive for puCK not to blink in blindly. So puCK might need to try to kill the banelings with disruptors and then try to blink under, but we'll see what he does. LeCone is pressuring forward here, trying to attempt to disrupt this fourth, and puCK does. He blinks forward. He sent the 2 disruptors forward and sends another one and gets the Banes! Oh my god, he's so good! Wow! puCK sent the 2 disruptors forward, killed the majority of the banelings, and then killed the remaining stuff with the other disruptor while sniping all the Broodlords. This guy's incredible! Who says Protoss just A move? That was crazy! LeCone is seeing why you make a few infestors though and start spreading creep. He's playing a bit abnormally, I would say, but an interesting style, fast Broodlord with Baneling. I think he was expecting as another disruptor shot gets more Zerg units than it gets Protoss units. He's being disrupted here as LeCone is being pressured severely. He's being eviscerated by this Protoss army. He played a really cool style involving quick Broodlord, but the Baneling drop didn't really do a lot of damage. When I pointed out puCK had a worker lead, he did a great job defending, and that's kind of why he had a worker lead, as we see puCK blink onto the high ground. LeCone is making a couple more Broodlords, but puCK has a critical mass of Blink Stalkers, and he's going to snipe the Greater Spire. LeCone is Zergling counterattacking, and another great thing about puCK's play is he's never afraid to make a few cannons. Noticed in Legacy of the Void, Protoss players are kind of less inclined to make cannons, like, oh, I have overcharge, I'll just overcharge pylons, but puCK does a great job against Zerg and Terran of knowing when to cannon his bases. Because, see, he didn't put a bunch of cannons up here, it's not like he does it with every base. LeCone is just making more Zerglings. The game's pretty obviously over at this point. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, he's come back. If he had the hold on, guys, hold on. Come on. Okay, that was pathetic. Oh, there it goes. If he had the most Gosu micro, here comes puCK with the blink and the disruptor. No, guys, it's over. puCK could go AFK and win this game. He's a great player, and I love to see his macro style, especially with disruptors. If you enjoyed it, there'll be more StarCraft 2 on my channel tomorrow, the very next day. More puCK, more greatness. Subscribe so you don't forget, guys. Subscribe to me. And puCK's Twitter's in the description. Follow that too.